Okay, I caught part of Dr. Andrea O'Connor's latest video where she's calling my generation micro boomers. Now, I was born in '57. That's just 12 years after World War II. So I kind of thought my generation were full-fledged boomers and not micro boomers, because it's within that time period of lots of babies being born after World War II. Now, I thought the boomers went from about 46 to about 60. Well, somewhere in the early 60s, I thought it changed over to Generation X or Pepsi generation or one of those. Now, I did miss Vietnam. Now Nixon ended the war when I turned 16. Nixon ended the draft, but a lot of us guys, that was a very definite thought. Getting into our mid-teens, that the possibility of being drafted. Of course, I think if the draft was still going on when I turned 18, I would have gone down and volunteered. I want to fix radios. I either got into electronics or something electronics or mechanics, because that if you volunteer and say, look, I don't want to be in combat, but I do want to support my country in a way that I would best serve my country. I would have volunteered if the draft had still been. I wanted to go into the Air Force, when I turned 18, but my mother talked me out of it. Now let's see. Dr. Andrea kind of covered some of her criteria for me kind of fit. Some of it doesn't. Now, I don't consider myself a hardcore skeptic or I'm not cynical. Now, my parents, were born, lived through the Depression. Now, a lot of people that lived through Depression, it had a serious effect on them. They're very, very frugal people. Now, my parents were not touchy-feely people. Now, I'm not touchy-feely. I can hug a girlfriend. That's fine with me. I've hugged a few guys. I don't get anything too much out of it. But I'm not touchy-feely. My daughter's pretty touchy-feely. I love to hug my daughter. I love to hug my. I don't think I'd hug my grandson, but my little granddaughter, I'd hug her. My grandson's 16. I don't think he wants a full-grown guy hugging him. I don't know. I've never discussed that with him. Let's see. Well, I was going to cover a few more things. Something completely different. Now, there's several women here prominent on YouTube. Now, they're ones I find interesting. I find cute. I know they're single females, and I'll talk about, various, sitting on my lap and playing with them, or, want to do the wild thing with them in the back of a station wagon or something. I try to cover, maybe a dozen different women that I find interesting. Now, the reason I do that, I don't want to single out one woman to think that I'm going to stalk her, or I'm going to, provide just kind of spread it out so some chick can't say I'm stalking her or I'm harassing her or something. But if there is some chick out there, on the off chance that she is interested in me and she gets jealous of me talking about other women, they send me an email, repairmanjamesgodman@yahoo.com. Send me an email, say, look, James, I'd really rather you just concentrate on me, just talk about sitting me in your lap, or, we'll do the wild thing in the back of a station wagon sometime. And let me know that, though. I'll definitely single out one woman if she's definitely interested. We'd have to meet up somewhere. And do some of the things that we both find interesting, and just see if we like each other, see if we can work together as two compatible human beings. Let's see. I was got a comment on Wondering Jeeps' fires. Yeah, chick. It's too bad. Half the western United States is on fire. We've got some pretty good. Fires here in Arizona. And Sarah, if you want to meet up with me, man, I'd really, really love to meet up with you. Platonic or otherwise. That would be a mutual consent thing with any female. It's going to be a mutual consent thing. I'm never going to force anybody to do anything. We'd have to make sure that I wouldn't want to hop in bed with somebody that we might not be the two most compatible people. You don't want to fall in love with somebody that they might end up killing me, or I might end up killing them. I'm not gonna. I want to make sure that we can work together. Okay, but I said I got to know that. Or if some chick that I know personally that's not here on YouTube, hey, you got my phone number, chick. Okay, love you. Hey, let's make this crazy, crazy world as interesting and exciting as we can make it. Das Leben ist ein Abenteuer, and c'est la vie. Bye-bye. Auf Wiedersehen. Enter that one chick. Lieben Sie wohl. Auf Wiedersehen.